So for our second transformation, again, we want to just read this information at the start and check what we're doing. So we're transforming this triangle. This time it's by rotation. Now for rotation, you'll be given two pieces of information. One is the angle of rotation, and the other is called the center of rotation. It's the point around which we're rotating everything. So we need to do a couple of things now. Before we can do anything, just like for reflection, we had to draw in our mirror line. For a rotation, we have to mark the center. Okay, and this point here, 4, 5, is called the center of rotation. So across 4, up 5, there is my center of rotation. And step 2 is now to do the tracing. And so I'm going to bring my tracing paper in, and exactly like we did before, I'm just going to trace it with pencil. It doesn't need to be absolutely perfect, but the neater you're tracing, the easier it will be to get everything in the right place. My triangle is traced. I also need to trace the center of rotation because this really, really matters. I'm just going to do one other thing. On my tracing paper, I'm going to draw a north line or an upwards arrow. That is there to help me work out whether I've rotated the paper the right amount. So we've been asked to rotate this paper 90 degrees clockwise. Clockwise means the way a clock hand rotates. Anti-clockwise obviously means the opposite direction. And what I'm going to do is, I'm actually going to use my pen to help me here. I'm going to press my pen point down where that center of rotation is. What that means is I should be able to spin my tracing paper, but it shouldn't move away from that center of rotation. And if I'm doing a 90-degree turn, that's a right angle. So my arrow, which I drew facing upwards, should now turn through 90 degrees and be facing to the right. So if I rotate this so that my arrow is pointing to the right, then that's it. That's all I have to do. My center is in the same place. My arrow is pointing right, so I've rotated it by 90. So now I have my new triangle. And just like before, I want to hold my pen over that corner, slide the tracing paper away, and mark that new corner. And then I can put my tracing paper back, and I've got my center and that point to guide me, so it's quite easy to put it back now. Hold my pen over this corner, slide the paper away, and mark the point. Back in. Here's my final point. So I'm going to slide the paper away and mark that point right there. Double check everything's right, and I'm happy. So I can just join these 3 points up to make my new triangle. And that's how you do rotation. It works exactly the same for a different angle. It could be clockwise or anti-clockwise. At GCSE, you're only ever asked to rotate by 90, 180 or 270. So just quarter turns. So it's not too difficult to do.